From the conservative side, it's time for us to listen first, to learn a little bit, to upgrade our message a little bit, to not be nostalgic about the past because, things do ebb and flow.
There was something nice about listening to him talk with the words Sunday and soufflé over his shoulder. It's relaxing. Because Jeb Bush's brother, the previous president, was so unpopular by the time he left office, because the political fortunes of the Republican Party dropped alongside those of George W. Bush, the GOP in the last couple of years had reason to be hopeful about how they would do, what they'd be able to accomplish once the political dead weight of Bush and Cheney were lifted off of them. That said, so far it hasn't worked out all that well. They tried John McCain. They tried Sarah Palin. They tried Joe the Plumber. They are still trying Michael Steele. They tried going counterintuitive or counter something and proposing a spending freeze while every economist in the country writhed in psychic pain and yelled, "No!" They tried proposing a massive new tax cut for rich people. They tried denouncing the President of the United States as a commie. They held coast-to-coast protests on Tax Day, celebrating a strange and wonderful new mascot, the teabag. In other words, they have tried a lot. But before this weekend, they had not yet tried a pizza party. The new post-Obama Republican relaunch effort, the National Council for a New America, had its kickoff event this weekend at Pietenza. Pietenza is a pizza parlor in a mall in Arlington, Virginia. The announced purpose of the event was a thoughtful dialogue with the American people. Nothing says new Republican Party that's not at all like the old Republican Party, like President Bush's brother and the second runner-up in the Republican primaries and the House Minority Whip. Jeb Bush, Mitt Romney, and Eric Cantor were the headliners at the GO Pizza Party. Now, to be fair, Mr. Cantor, who took the lead in forming the group, says it officially is a nonpartisan thing.
The National Council for a New America is a wide-open policy debate, and we're going to be talking about things economic, things education, health care. These are discussions that need to occur with the American people of any political stripe.
Any political stripe, except the group doesn't include a single Democrat and will be operated out of Congressman Cantor's office, which also has the responsibility of transforming the Republican minority in the House of Representatives into one giant unanimous no vote. One high note from the weekend gathering, apparently the pizza itself at Pietenza was awesome. Joining us now is Christopher Beam, political reporter with Slate.com, who attended the GO Pizza Party and who wrote about it on Slate. Christopher, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Can you give me a sense of the overall vibe? Was there a sense of excitement, a sense of enthusiasm?
I wouldn't say excitement. It was a Saturday morning, and people were getting up to eat pizza before lunch. But I would say that there was a lot of sort of hunger for new ideas, like they said. The problem is that if you look at the questions that were asked and the solutions that were offered, I wouldn't exactly say they were new ideas. Someone asked about, how is the Republican Party going to help small businesses? And you will be shocked to learn that they want to jumpstart the economy and cut taxes for business.
Right. Which is conveniently enough always the right answer on every multiple choice question, no matter what the question is about. I'm not usually one to quote talk show host Rush Limbaugh, but on this subject, his views seem relevant. Mr. Limbaugh today blasted the whole rebranding the GOP idea, saying that you can't make the same old politicians, the same old party, look new. This weekend, were Eric Cantor and Mitt Romney and Jeb Bush trying to represent themselves as if they were new to the party, as if they represented something different?
No, I think they acknowledge that they've been around. I mean, Romney referred to himself and Bush as two has-beens. Bush acknowledged, in fact, Bush sort of used that to his advantage. He said, I've been around long enough to see conservatives go up and down. I've seen liberals go up and down. It was sort of this reassurance that they will one day be back on top. I think they appreciate the irony that they are these familiar faces, selling themselves as the future of the party. But at the same time, you have to acknowledge that if they didn't have Romney there, if they didn't have McCain there, people wouldn't have shown up, and we probably wouldn't be talking about it.
That's fair. Well, I don't know. It is Pietenza. I mean, the elephant in the living room here for Jeb Bush talking about the future of the Republican Party, and even for his admissions that things ebb and flow and that you see things sort of rise and fall in American politics. The elephant in the living room here is, of course, how his brother's presidency left the GOP. Is that is he talking about that now? Was he willing to discuss the sort of the wreckage of the Republican Party in the wake of the 2 Bush terms?
Absolutely not. I mean, any reference to the past, they will say, they'll sort of echo Obama and say, we're not here to talk about the past, we're here to talk about solutions to the future. Bush's whole strategy of bringing out the base and emphasizing social issues, they've totally scrapped. They're not touching immigration. They're not touching abortion, gay marriage. So in some ways, it's almost like Specter's defection and these other signs that, their abysmal approval rating, it almost seems to be registering. They understand that they need to take another tack, and harping on the same social issues that got George W. Bush into office, I think they recognize isn't going to work this time around.
Christopher, one of the things that has been emerging recently in Republican Party politics is something that we saw from one of the Republican candidates for governor in Georgia in the past week. John Oxendine is now going to run on a states' rights sovereignty platform. We've seen the same thing happen in the Republican Party in Texas. Secession is even polling well among Republicans in states like Georgia and Texas. Are the Cantors and the Romneys and the Bushes engaging at all with this real hard-edged, radical right-wing stuff that has been happening within the party, the kind of thing that we saw in a lot of the signs at the Tea Party events, for example?
No, they're definitely distancing themselves. I think they recognize that there is this split. There's the we screwed up side of the Republican Party that thinks that they have to moderate, and then there's the sort of buckle down in the trenches, we weren't conservative enough in 2008 side. And this group, the Pizza Party group, the NCNA, they're the we screwed up wing. They're the ones who want to sort of reach out to moderates and at least rhetorically say we want to be inclusive, as opposed to say Rush Limbaugh, who says that it's a good thing that Specter left the party because now we have a much more pure Republican Party. They don't seem to appreciate that we have these things called general elections in this country where more than just Republicans vote. So the purity of the party has no bearing on whether they're going to start winning or not.
Christopher Beam, political reporter with Slate Magazine. Thanks for your time and your insight tonight. It's nice to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
In the 100-something days